Hi, this is Gene DiNapoli. Just want to let you know that your comments tonight might be shown on screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gene DiNapoli.
Hi, everybody. Happy Monday, June 14th. My name is Gene DiNapoli, and welcome to episode 41 of Reminiscing with Gene DiNapoli. Once again, as I say every week, I am still Gene DiNapoli, and right now, a word from our sponsors.
Hi, this is Francisco. Many people call me the Creative CPA. If you need help with your taxes or financial matters, please email me your cell number and the best time and day to call you. You can email me at franciscisco@aol.com, and Cisco is spelled SISCO. The Creative CPA. It's that simple, that easy. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Howard, and along with my partner Karen, we are Cruise Planners Dream Destinations Travel. Contrary to the name, we are a full-service travel agency specializing in individual, multi-generational, and group vacations. Certified with all major cruise lines, we are also represent all resorts and all-inclusives throughout the beautiful Caribbean and Mexico. Let us build your dream vacation. Please call us at 347-398-8653 for a free, no-obligation quote.
Little Italy Auto Repair at 628 Crescent Avenue in the true Little Italy of the Bronx. Over 50 years of automotive service excellence, ASE and state certified, offering all types of services to all types of cars. Discounts to first responders, military, Fordham University students and faculty. All work is done by Vittorio with the highest level of quality possible. Telephone number is 718-933-2365 or visit his website at www.littleitalyAutobronx.webs.com. That's Little Italy Auto Repair. Thank you to our sponsors. We appreciate the help. Like we do at the top and the bottom of the show, we want to let you know about next week's guest. This is a biggie for me because I sing some of this man's songs in my show. We have one of the true voices of the late 60s, Gary Puckett of Gary Puckett and the Union Gap will be here next Monday, June 21st at 7 p.m. That's Gary Puckett next week, June 21st, 7 p.m. Unbelievable. I tell you, we're just getting started. First of all, I want to say hello to Pam. Pam had major surgery today. She's watching our show. So thanks, Pam. Feel better. Things are opening up here in New York, ladies and gentlemen. This past weekend, just yesterday, I was able to go to Long Island and see not one, but two of the best entertainers that I've ever laid my eyes on. One, my old friend, Mr. Larry Chance of Larry Chance and the Earls. And second, for the first time in a long time, Mr. Stan Zitska of a group called the Del Satins. They worked at a place called La Focaccia in Levittown, Long Island, owned by Sal Pinetta, who did a great job. There were 2 sold-out shows, and from what I hear, it's going to be the first of many shows at La Focaccia. And as I was leaving, Sal said to me to give him a call. So yours truly might be playing in Levittown, Long Island real soon. So we want to thank everybody for that. And tonight's show, as well as all our others, can be heard on ItalianAmericanRadio.com. So if you're on your phone in the car and you want to hear our episodes, type in ItalianAmericanRadio.com and listen to our shows. Why that's important tonight is because our guest tonight, of Italian descent, from a little country called Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn, New York, a cluster of Italians, just like the Bronx and Queens, gave us some of the best music from the 40s all the way to today. We have people still from Brooklyn that they interject their Brooklyn home feel. And when this gentleman and his group interjected their Brooklyn Italianness, they created a sound. And with their top 10 hit in 1963, they were a perennial favorite on CBS FM and the top 100 doo-wop songs of all time. If you remember, on Memorial and Labor Day, they used to do the top 500 countdown. And this man and his group were in the top 20 year after year after year. So, ladies and gentlemen, to take you on a musical journey with one of the best voices in doo-wop, pop, and standards, please say hello to our guest tonight, the lead singer of a group called The Classics, Mr. Emil Stucchio. Emil, how are you?
Hi, Gene. How's everything?
Oh, it's wonderful. Good to hear your voice.
Thank you. It's good to hear yours. Hey, Gene, first of all, I before we get into the interview, I want to thank you so much for inviting me on the show. But also, I wanted to apologize about you were so gracious to me the other day when I told you I was having trouble with my iPad and the virtual and not being able to receive, either way, yours or me. I was with Apple for 4 hours trying to correct it, but I apologize about that. And thank you for being so gracious.
Of course, we love the interview itself, but when we actually see the guest, people tend to relate better. But we got some great pictures of you, Emil, from the beginning to today. So we're going to put them up occasionally, and everybody will get to see you visually as well as hear you audibly. And we're so sorry that we couldn't do it, but maybe we'll revisit this at another time and get you on camera.
That'd be great.
Sure. Now, Emil, take us back to the beginning. I like to ask this of my guests. Was anybody in your family musically inclined?
Well, the whole family sang, but nobody sang professionally. I was fortunate, at an early age to, explore the possibilities of possibly getting a record at an early age. And we were very fortunate. We were very blessed. What had happened was I was 15 years old, and we formed a group. Well, I sang with a few guys on the corner before that, but then I got auditioned, believe it or not, by the guys who were the Classics. Before they were the Classics, they were the Perennials. And we sang for a little bit, and then eventually the Mystics, who did Hushabye, and the Passions, who did Just to Be With You, invited us down for an audition to a guy by the name of Jim Gribble. And Jim Gribble was the manager of a number of acts in those days. And we went for the audition, and there were 5 acts when we went for the audition. And I got to tell you, 5 groups, and we were not the best. They were all better than us, but they thought that we were cute. So they said, maybe we got something here. And then they asked us if we had any original material. And we told them we had written a song called Cinderella. And he said, let's hear it. We did it. And he said, let's go in and record that. So that was the start. And it was thanks to the Mystics and the Passions, who were friends of ours since we were kids.
Right. As a matter of fact, I know you can't see. Anthony, keep that picture up there, please. We just showed one of your first publicity pictures. And, listen, I'm a manly man from the Bronx, but I will say you are a handsome bunch of men. Absolutely.
Hey, thank you.
Very debonair, very classy looking. And also two of the guys, you had you on lead. Tony Victor was the first tenor. Johnny Campbell, second tenor. And bass was done by Jamie Troy. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Great. But there was also a group called the Del Reys that two of them were from?
One of them, Louie.
Louie
eventually came into the group later on, and none of those guys were part of the Del Reys. None of the original group were part of the Del Reys.
Wow, great. And so this was in 58? You're going to say 58 high school?
1958. I was 14 going on 15.
Okay, great. Now you mentioned Cinderella. We're going to play a little clip for our listeners because everybody knows the big hits, but we like people to hear the ones that started you guys and peek it into.
Yeah, it was fun. It's funny. I haven't heard that in quite a while. And I went to lunch last Thursday with John from the original group. And I'll tell you the truth, not having seen him for a while and going to lunch, we picked up right where we left off. It was just such a great, warm feeling inside to be around him again, and say, this is just reminded me of my youth.
Of course, especially after the year we've had to get together with an old friend. It's really special. When you got together, did you talk about the old times?
Always. And we talked on one thing that I don't know if you want me to go into it, but I'll just tell you briefly. We were never out of Brooklyn. So with Cinderella, they put us on a mini record hop tour, and we were too young to drive, so they had a chauffeur-driven limousine take us down there. The first place we were going to go is Camden, New Jersey.
Okay.
Now, we're driving down there, and we had a driver named Fred who was going to pull into a gas station. He did, and he was going to ask directions to this roller rink that we were going to be appearing at. So we get to the gas station, and he said to the attendant, he said, where is the such and such roller rink? He says, I can tell you where it is, but you're not going down there tonight. And he said, why not? He says, well, it's not our night tonight. So he says, what does that mean? They were integrated at that time. They were on, let's say, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday was the blacks, and then Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday was the whites. So he said, we were never exposed to that in Brooklyn. Black and white got along really fine. But anyway, the long story short, we get down there. It was Jocko. I don't know if you remember a DJ by the name of Jocko Henderson. And he was the host of that show. We go down there, and Fred goes inside, and he says, listen, I hope you know that these boys are white. And he said, I knew it. I don't think he did, but he said, I knew it. We go inside, and we're the only white kids in there. And they put us in a locker room with the other acts. And the headliner on the show was Lee Andrews and the Hearts.
Okay.
And you have no idea how much that guy was just a great gentleman, a great singer, great entertainer. Anyway, I'm sitting down on a bench in the locker room, and Lee Andrews comes over with me and puts his arm around me, and he said, listen, are you nervous? I said, yeah, a little bit. He says, let me tell you something. These kids don't see color. They just like the music. I said, okay. And we went out there, and that's the first song we did, Cinderella. We did it, and I'll tell you what, the kids were jumping, and really dancing, and it was a great time for us. I looked over by the locker room. I could see a silhouette of Lee Andrews standing there behind the light. I could see his shadow, his image, silhouette, and it was a great experience. And that was a beginning for the classics.
Wow. I knew Lee Andrews personally, and that must have been a very tall silhouette. Because
it was. Well, let me tell you, it was. And if you know Lee Andrews, he had a great smile. He just lit the place up when he smiled.
He had an infectious smile. He really did.
I just wanted to throw this in. We were you at the beginning of the show. You said Perennial, and Perennials was the first name that we had, and we were playing. We were kids. And John's uncle said, "Listen, I got a place for you to sing," and he put us in a place called the Club Illusion. And the MC of the show was a guy by the name of Sam Sardi, and he was a comedian. And we were on the show with the Neons, who did Angel Face. Anyway, we are backstage, and he says, "All right, I'll bring you on. What's the name of the group?" And we said the Perennials. He said, "The what?" We said Perennials. So he went out there and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Classics." And we turned around. We thought there was another group on the show, but as it turns out, he was calling us. After we did our show, I said to him, "Why did you call us the Classics?" He says, I couldn't remember your name from 5 feet from walking from here to there. The Perennials." He says, "Though I thought Classics would stick." And you know what? He was right. It stayed with us till the present day.
What a great story! I don't think a lot of people knew that origin of the name. That's wonderful. What was that gentleman's name again? Do you remember?
Sam Sardi.
Sam Sardi.
Sam Sardi. S-A-R-D-I.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank him for coming up with a great name.
Yeah.
A great name. You're primarily known for having the big ballad hit and doing a lot of ballads in your show. Cinderella, of course, an upbeat song, as is Angela, a little more of a beat than normal. Where did this song come from?
Which one? Angela?
Yeah, Angela.
Yeah. That I gotta say was something that they brought us into the studio and they said, "We got the track for this thing." At that time they used to have the tape, when
right.
you recorded. And so they had a girl recorded that song, and it was a guy's name, and it wasn't Angela, of course. They changed the words, and they said, "We want you to sing this song this way." And I said, "It's a girl." It was a girl's key. It was about 15 steps higher than what I was able to sing. Wow. Anyway, it made a little noise, believe it or not, in Philly and in Connecticut. But it wasn't anything of a monster. It was our second song after Cinderella was with Mercury, and we did "Life Is But a Dream." Right. That was a tempo song.
Right. We're going to play a little bit of Angela, and then we're going to talk about Life Is But a Dream. So, Anthony, Angela. I like that song as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Getting back to Life Is But a Dream, I think by the time you recorded that, what was that, 1961 when you did that?
Yes.
You might have been the third or fourth act to have done that song.
Yeah, Larry did it, and so did the Harptones.
Right. And once again, your version, very bouncy, very non-formula for the Classics. Were you trying to be a more up-tempo group?
No, at that time, because we were so young, we didn't have the flexibility to call our own shots. They were telling us what to do. We want it done this way. We want you to add this. Now, if you listen to some of those falsetto notes, at 1961, I was 17 years old. So that high voice, that's me. I can't even believe I hear some of those notes. But anyway, they picked out those songs, and
Wow.
yes,
Wow. That's amazing. Right. That's amazing how they picked out a song that was already done twice before within the past year or two. But you put your own signature on it, and we're going to let our listeners hear the classics version of Life is But a Dream.
Well, life is but a dream. It's what you make of it, no matter how it seems. You know you long so with all its pleasant schemes. Life is but a dream, sweetheart. Love is all a game. It tries to make you blue, yet it's all the same. No matter what you do, I guess I am to blame. 'Cause life is but a dream, sweetheart.
Really, I don't know where you would have been had you stayed in that vernacular of songs. Doing all up tempo stuff.
I love your vocabulary, vernacular. I love that. That's cute. I like that.
I have no idea what it means, but I figured I'd throw it in there.
Yeah.
When you were doing your live shows, when you were on the tours, you were doing the current singles. So you were doing Life is But a Dream, Angel, Angela, Cinderella.
Yeah. And they would, a lot of times, if we were doing an extended show, which wasn't too often, they would, our handlers at that time, manager and our road manager said, you should add this into the show. You should add that into the show. And sometimes we did a cover on some of the songs, but I remember I was partial in those days to the flamingos, the moonglows, the harp tones, and I loved their music. So we would add if we were doing an extended show, I would add one of those into the show. I remember doing I Only Have Eyes for You, by the Flamingos, and I remember I thought that this is a true story. The stage, we were up on stage, but the stage was only about 4 or 5 feet high, and the kids were right below us, and a girl was signaling to me, while I was singing. I thought that she was, enjoying the music. She said, "Your fly is open." I said, "How romantic is this?" Anyway, but but we did do covers on some of the songs that were at that time.
Right, and it worked because Life is But a Dream wound up on an R&B chart, singles. You made some noise with that.
Yeah, and if you, I know you remember Lenny Coco and the Chimes, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes, so when we were touring with Cinderella, Life is But a Dream, their manager, a guy by the name of Andy Leonetti, said to me, "Listen, when your contract is up with Jim Gribble, I want you to come and see me. You're singing the wrong material." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "That material is not you. You should be doing ballads." So I said, "Well, I'll try it." He goes, "Yeah." So we finished our contract with Jim Gribble, and then we went to see Andy Leonetti. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead over here.
No, go right ahead. Right ahead.
So Andy called us into the meeting, and he said, "Listen, what I want you to do is take an old standard that I feel is appropriate." Now, he picked out Till Then, and he said, "Listen, this was right before the Cuban crisis. This was right before eventually the Vietnam War, which, was such a sad time." And he says, what better song would be appropriate than to say Till Then, these guys are going away, and hopefully, they're coming home, and it's such a good message. So he said, he brought a guy in, a jazz guitarist. His name was Larry Lucy. And he said, "Listen, this is what I want you to do, boys. He says, "You young man," and he points to Jamie, the bass, and he goes, "I want you to do 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 do." And he says, "Then you young man," and he points to me, he goes, "I want you to say till then." I said, "Okay." And then we went into the studio maybe about 3 or 4 days later. And, I knew something different was happening in that studio. I felt that. I said, "You know what? We might have something here," because the response was really, really good by the musicians, the A&R people. Everybody was saying, "Geez, this is really good," Anyway, they put it out and it caught fire right away. It was just a thrill that we were young kids and we were getting, calls all over the country, but especially on the East Coast. The East Coast, I'm talking about right up and down from Florida to Maine. We were really working hard, and I was enjoying the heck out of it. It was such a great experience.
It does make noise, and you did hit something. You hit the pot of gold. A lot of people don't have any hits, but if you're going to have one major hit, that's always going to be in the top 10 and top 20 of doo-wop songs, it is your song, Till Then. And the opening line, as you said, fabulous with your bass singer.
Yeah.
And then when you come in, it's just pure harmony. And we're going to let our listeners and viewers hear your rendition of an old standard, Till Then. Anthony, hit it.
Till then, my darling, please wait for me. Till then, no matter when it may be, one day I know I'll be home again. Please wait till.
What a song.
Yeah, we were blessed. We were really blessed. We had, somebody up there was smiling on us the day we did that song, and the memories that we had through the years because of that song. If I live to be 100, I will never forget the rush I got from recording that song and then performing that song through the years.
Right. Let me ask you, talking about Rush, when you finally had this bona fide hit, when you went home, how did your parents, your siblings, how did they react now that they had a hit maker in the family?
Well, my mother reacted really well. She said, "Do me a favor, the garbage is over there. Can you throw it out?" They were so kind to me. Everybody was really good to me. And people look at you differently. People treat you differently. But like I said, it was a blessing. I think that your friends, if they really know you, are always going to be your friends, and they'll take you with your pluses and minuses. They're not going to in any way treat you like, "Oh my God, you got a big hit record, so you're something special." No, they won't let that happen, and hopefully you won't let that happen. You can't live like, "Oh, I'm so good now. I got a hit record." It was just something really special.
I could really relate to what you just said that your mother said, because when I started singing at 14, the day after I sang for the first time, my mother asked me to do the laundry. And I came downstairs. I had a bathrobe and a towel around my neck because I thought I was a superstar. And she asked me to do laundry. And I told her, after I'm done with my breakfast, and she hit me in the head with the vacuum cleaner pipe.
There you go.
She knocked the ego right out of me.
Yeah. You know something, Gene? Like I said before, I was grateful, and I, of course, still am grateful. But through the years, I have seen and heard so many people that are so much more talented than I am. I was fortunate. I got blessed with a song that people liked. But for all those people that recorded records, or even didn't get the opportunity to record, and was so much more talented than I was. God bless them too, because it's tough. It really is tough. At that time in 1963, they were releasing thousands of records per week. So we were just lucky in the right place at the right time.
Well, Emil, you could say that, but it does take a little bit of everything. It takes talent, a great song, stage presence, attitude, and determination in order to get to that part. So, don't just think everything was dropped in your lap. You worked for it. And you were one of the lucky ones to reap the benefits of what you sow. And you were saying about thousands of songs every week. A couple of weeks ago, we had the Dixie Cups on the show, and their song is in the top 500 songs of all time by Rolling Stone. And when you think about how many hundreds of thousands of songs have been released, it's amazing that certain songs gel with certain people.
Yeah.
I didn't find a lot about you on the web. Your biography is really basic. But one of the things I read was you should have been bigger than you were. But the problem was you were constantly changing record labels. Is that true?
It's like 26 labels. We were. But just to recap that, we were doing okay. I mean, after Till Then, and then we recorded P.S. I Love You, and we recorded I Apologize. But what had happened was the times were changing. In 1963, we had Till Then. In 1964, the English groups came to our country. They dominated the charts. Now, we were working all the time, and then all of a sudden, the rug was pulled out from underneath us. And people ask me from time to time, are you bitter that the English groups, did that to your career? And I said, no, I'm not bitter. I mean, it's just the way, you got to follow life the way it is. It's just part of what was in store for me. I didn't complain when I got there. I'm not going to complain when I'm no longer on the charts. I mean, would I wanted more? Sure. But when the English groups came in 64, 65, we started to, we were still recording, and the record labels, after Andy Leonetti and Music Belt Records, we went to FGG Productions, and Sire Blue Horizon was the label. Then we recorded for them. We recorded about 4 or 5 sides for them, and they were great sessions. I'm talking about with strings and horns. It was really nice. It was really good. But the records make the noise that Till Then did. We recorded You'll Never Know. You'll Never Know was the biggest record that we had with Sire Blue Horizon. It didn't come anywhere near what Till Then did. Right. But great sessions.
Are all of these unknown songs available in today's day and age?
Yeah, I'm sure they are. And we re-recorded them on our own CD, and tried to capture what we had done earlier, like in the mid 60s, and they're all available. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really good, to me. It's good for me to listen to it, and because I could remember the sessions that we went. As a matter of fact, I told you I went to lunch the other day with John.
Yeah.
And we were talking about some of those sessions and how much fun it was to do it.
You did a lot of old songs. We just talked about them. But then let's go back to P.S. I Love You. You co-wrote that?
No, that's an old standard.
That's an old standard.
Yeah. That was done by the Hilltoppers. Yeah. It was, again, thinking if, from what I was saying to you before, that we recorded Till Then, because there were going to be a lot of young guys away and their girlfriends or wives would be home. P.S. I Love You would be the letter writing part, Dear, I thought I'd drop a line. The weather's cool. The folks are fine, that kind of thing. The girl writing to the boy or the boy writing to the girl.
Right.
So it it was their again. It was their choice. Andy Leonetti said this is an appropriate song for this time, and it got, believe it or not, it was on American Bandstand, and they used to rate the records on there, and it won on the records. And then they had Murray the K's also. They put you with 4 or 5 recording stars. Like we were on with Bobby Rydell, Connie Francis, and we won that contest. And the record started to go up on the charts, and then as quickly as it was on, it eventually found its way off.
Right.
But it was a great experience.
Yes, and a great song. So Anthony, let's hit it with P.S. I Love You.
Here I thought I'd drop a line. The weather's cool, the folks are fine. I'm in bed each night at 9. P.S. I love you.
You know, Emil, I've seen you a few times in concert, and I know you do P.S. I Love You along with Till Then. Do you do Cinderella? Do you do Angela?
I would say that we've done Cinderella. Angela, no. But we've done a number of tunes that we recorded. Cinderella, Till Then, P.S. I Love You, yes, we did. We do.
Right. You mentioned the great I Apologize.
Yeah.
I mean, can Billy Eckstine, I mean...
can you get any better than Billy Eckstine?
And the guy was a fashion statement as well as a vocal statement. Let me ask you this. When you did standards by other artists, did you ever feel you didn't want to do something because you felt you might not have been able to do it justice or do better than the previous vocalist?
Well, you know something? I think that if you're going to record a song that is done by or was done by another artist, I, in my attempt to do that, never tried to sound like them or, in any way emulate what they did on their recordings. I tried to put our slant on it, like how I would record it, how I felt the lyric. And I got to tell you this, even at an early age, and especially now, I go into the studio and I don't record the song. I do record the song, but what I mean is I interpret the lyric the best way that I can, how I feel it. And if it's a successful recording, well, then that's great, But it's really important for me to feel the lyric. And I apologize. They're great lyrics on that. And I could never, or I would never attempt to try and sound like Billy Eckstine.
After you did I Apologize, did you ever happen to run into Billy Eckstine anywhere?
I did. No, I never did. We were supposed to be, we were on a show. You remember the Mike Douglas show?
Sure.
Yeah, television. He was going to be on the show and we were going to be on. And as it turns out that he went on the week before we were going on, and then we got canceled. There was a racial incident that was going on down in Philly, and they told us that they're going to hold off on. They used an old show. We didn't go on, but that was 1964, I guess.
So what do you do, Emil, if you walk into the Mike Douglas show and there's Billy Eckstine and you just recorded his song? Do you approach somebody like this, or do you stay backstage and not want to confront them? How do you do that? I don't.
Well, you know something. I have a tremendous respect for all of these people, and I certainly respect their privacy. But if I, like everything else, and especially being from Brooklyn, you try to read a situation. If it makes sense to say, hi, I really enjoy your music, I'm so-and-so. And I've done that. I've had the pleasure to meet so many people that, icons in this business. And I feel like I don't ever want to overstep my bounds. And to me, if the situation seems that the artist is approachable, I'll certainly say, hi, I just want to tell you I'm a big fan, and I enjoy your music, and that kind of thing. And
Right.
through the years, you could imagine I've been fortunate to meet so many people that I'm grateful for.
Absolutely. And right now, the classics version of Billy Eckstine's standard, I Apologize. Anthony, hit it.
If I told a lie, if I made you cry, when I said goodbye, I'm sorry. From the bottom of my heart, dear, I apologize.
What a smooth sound. Smooth.
Thank
Very smooth. Like syrup and honey.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something you said a little bit ago.
Sure.
When you played in Jersey and there was segregation. People get the wrong conception, misrepresentation of New Yorkers. And here you are saying that in Brooklyn, there was no issue, but yet right over the water in New Jersey, it was still rampant.
Well, go ahead.
We've had many people on the show who laid to rest the rumors that when they went down south, they were treated bad. JT Carter says he was treated like an A-list celebrity. Terry Johnson, they were treated good down south. So I guess there's good and bad in everybody. And in this day and age, especially, we should all learn to just get along through music. And you guys did that.
Well, Gene, they say that music is the universal language of the world. And honestly, when I have been on these shows with so many different, you mentioned Terry Johnson and JT Carter. And I was looking at a video the other day of us with Speedo or Shirley Alston, Charlie Thomas. They're through and through my friends. People I kept in touch with through the years. And we were on tour. We were on a 2-week tour, and it was just about it was 2005. We were on a tour, and I get word that my father is sick, and I got to get home. And sure enough, while I left the tour, my father eventually passed away, and I caught the tour. I went after we were through with the funeral services. I took a flight back to Kentucky, and sure enough, on the tour was Charlie Thomas and the Drifters, Shirley Alston, the original lead singer of the Shirelles. When I got off the bus, there were so many people on the tour with us. The first two, when I got to the hotel, the car picked me up, took me to the hotel. The first two people to come over, put both their arms around me, was Charlie and Shirley. And they said, Shirley says, we're here for you. We're here for you. Our prayers are with you and your family. I mean, if you ever want to shed tears, and nobody wants to shed tears, but I mean, it's hard to hold them back when people are embracing you like that and saying, we're here for you. We know what you're going through. We're here for you. And God bless them. I'll never forget that. After 9/11, the worst day in our history, on September 12th, I get a call from California, and it's Bobby Miranda from The Happenings. And he says, Emil, I'm just checking in with you. Are you okay? I said, Bobby, I can't tell you what this means to me that you're calling. I hung up the phone, and maybe an hour later, from New Orleans, I got a call from Frankie Ford. And Frankie said the same thing. Hey, just looking out for you, brother. I said, thank you, Frankie. I appreciate it. That's the kind of people that are in this business. Really, really good people. I can't tell you what a family it is. And, look, are you going to have differences with people? Sure. But for the most part, I love them all. They're really great people.
Absolutely. We just showed a picture of you, Larry Chance, Speedo, and Herb Cox.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever met a more gentle man than Herbie. Even when he spoke, he was so gentle, you had to ask him to speak up.
Herb was a classy guy.
Yeah.
Really classy guy. And, all those guys are great guys. But Herb was a gentleman. One of the guys, we had to do interviews. And Earl Lewis, from the channels, is wearing a baseball jacket with the back saying Earl Lewis in the channels. And, they said, well, we're going to go inside and do an interview. And Earl said, nobody told me we were doing interviews. I don't have a sport jacket. And Herb said to me and him, you always got to wear a sport jacket. You never know when they're going to ask you to do an interview or take a picture. And that was Herb's theory, that you should be always dressed and ready to go.
That was Tony Curtis's theory as well. Always dressed for the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. You recently got together, not recently, but a few years ago, with two other Brooklyn groups, the Mystics and the Passions, and you put together what was called the Brooklyn Reunion. In the 60s, did you ever do that before?
You mean together?
Yeah.
Yeah. In 1986, we got a call from the guys who were doing the Royal Doo-Wop show, Joe Contorno and
Tony DeLauro.
I'm sorry?
Tony DeLauro,
Joe Contorno, and Frankie Lons. They were doing Radio City Music Hall. So Joe called me and said, listen, I want to talk to you and Al. I want to do something together with the Mystics, the Passions, and the Classics, because you all came out of the same nest with Jim Gribble, and I want to put something together. Well, we went on stage at Radio City Music Hall, and I got to tell you, what a thrill. There's 6,000 people there, and you want to see 6,000 people standing. I mean, it was like, so we decided, and I got to say, Al Contreras, that let's get the guys together, let's use this, and we started doing it on a regular basis. In 1987, 88, we were doing like 20-something dates with the Brooklyn Reunion. And then we were doing maybe 40, 50 dates on our own at that time, because we were busy at that time. Right. 3 years, Philly moved down to Florida, the Albie moved down to Florida, and it became more and more difficult. And it became financially impossible, too, because you got to fly people, you got to put them up in rooms. So anyway, we did do that. We started doing it, but at less times per year. Well, we're still doing it. And in September, there's the American Music Theater. It's probably one of the most beautiful theaters in the country. And we're going to be in Lancaster, Pennsylvania with the Mystics, the Passions, and us. And then that's September 25th in Lancaster. But on October 31st, we're leaving on a cruise, the Mall Shop Cruise. And for the second time in the history of that cruise line, we're going to do the Brooklyn Reunion show there on that show. So the Mystics and Passions and the Classics will once again be together again.
That's fabulous. We had Al Contreras on our show talking about his book. And when I read his book, you three groups were almost interchangeable when you first started. Nobody really knew who was going to be in what.
Yeah, I sang with the Mystics for about a little less than a year, and because they added me onto the show. We did Radio City. We did Atlantic City together for the Bowser show, and then the Passions, Louis and Albie from the Passions, sang with me as the classics for 12, 13 years. So we were interchangeable. You're right.
It's hysterical because, again, a misconception about New York, Brooklyn Italians are that we don't get along. I mean, I'm from the Bronx. I'm not putting myself in the Brooklyn mix, but it's funny how you are debunking a myth that everybody is against each other, whether it's racially or even in groups. You're saying that everybody just was getting together and getting along. And I think that's a very great point to prove even back then.
Yeah, we were lucky. We were blessed. I mean, I don't get me wrong. You're going to get people in every walk of life that might rub you the wrong way or might say or do something that might offend you. But for the most part, I got to say that I've been fortunate to be working with some of the best people in the business. Just good people.
Right. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We know, like you just said, a lot of your songs were standards, and taking on a Billy Eckstine song is a feat in itself. But to take on a Frank Sinatra classic, that is almost taboo when you're an Italian. But you did it, and you did it well. So we're going to let our listeners hear your version of one of the quintessential Sinatra songs, The Way You Look Tonight. Anthony, hit it.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you, just the way you look tonight,
What a nice version. A little up tempo again.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. You're right. It's a quintessential Frank Sinatra tune. Where did we get the wisdom to do that? But it was now. Oh, you know what I want to tell you?
Yeah.
It was recorded on Bed-Stuy Records, and the guy was an oil guy from Texas that owned Bed-Stuy Records, and he brought in, and I am not lying, 32 pieces. 32 pieces.
Wow.
For that session. There were strings, there were horns, and I was in a booth by myself. So, 32 pieces going in. After I was, until then we had, 2 guitars, a keyboard player, and a bass player, and a drummer. That was it.
When was that recorded, that session? When was that?
I'm going to say early 70s.
So after the classics went and did their own thing, nice. It's nice to know that you could still go back a few years later and still capture the magic.
Yeah, it was a fun session. It really was.
Was that ever released? That session, was it an album?
It was part of an album. Yeah, it was part of an album, but it wasn't released as a single.
Wow, too bad. It was a little. I'm going to go on a limb here. It was a little disco-ish too.
That's what it is. That's when they released it. It was like I said 70s, and I'm saying maybe mid 70s, but it does have a disco feel to it too.
Yeah. You talked about Radio City, 6,000 people. I know it's great, but you did play Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
On Rich and Nada's shows. How was that in front of 20,000 people? Your hometown, New York.
Of course, it's a thrill in a lifetime. But we not only played, and of course, Madison Square Garden is a mecca. And you talk about the Nassau Coliseum, the Burns Arena in Jersey. We played stadiums too that it was a thrill in a lifetime to see a sea of people, and just say, hey, you know what? We're really doing something special here. And we were very, very fortunate. A great time, great feel.
That's just incredible. I can't believe you're talking about these as if they're a backyard barbecue with such.
No,
Yeah, it's amazing some of the things guys and girls in your position have done. Let's fast forward a little bit to today. You're out there with two lovely people. Anthony put up that picture. There you go. That, of course, is you on the right, and Al Contreras and Teresa McLean. Am I saying our last name right? Teresa McLean?
Teresa McLean.
McLean. I'm so sorry, Teresa.
Yeah.
How long has this incarnation been together?
One more time. I missed that, Gene.
How long has this incarnation been together?
Okay. Al joined the Classics in 1984, I believe it was. And he's been with me ever since. Teresa joined the Classics in 2002.
Wow.
We had, of course, 4 guys all the time. We had 4 guys up front.
Right.
And one of the guys in 2002 was leaving, Mike Parquette. Talk about a great guy, great singer, great guy. Anyway, Mike was leaving, and he said, Emil, I got so involved with my business, I'm going to have to leave. I said, okay, Mike. So I said to Al, we're going to have to make a move. He says, Emil, I have about 20 or 30 people that are calling me. They'll want to be, the other voice. And I said, I got a different idea. I said, I saw somebody that I think would really be a great addition to the group. And he said, who? I said, you know that girl, Teresa McLean, the one that was singing with the Chicklets? He said, what are you talking about, a girl? I said, yeah. Let me tell you something. This girl can sing, and I think that she would add another dimension to the Classics. He says, yeah, but we've always been traditionally 4 guys. And I said, well, you know what? We can progress as we go along. I think that this girl would give us the opportunity to make some good moves. Well, let me tell you something. This girl is so talented. But even better than that, she's a hard worker. She really puts everything that she has in what we do, and she's not a diva. She's just a team player all the time. Never complains. She looks good. She sounds great. And Allie and I talk all the time. She just made life easier for us. And and I thank God for this, that when groups with multi-hit records are working less than us, that says something for the product that we're putting out there. And of course, you're going to get second guessed by your choices. But as it turns out, this is a choice that we both, Al and myself, feel that we made the right choice.
Well, it must be working because you're still one of the most worked acts on the circuit. I've never seen Teresa do anything in the show because every time I've seen you, you've been on a 10-act show, so your time's limited. But I had heard her do Till by the Angels.
Let me tell you something. When she does that, it still gives me the chills. It's still, that girl has a voice in it. Really talented.
Absolutely. I am going to agree with you 100%. As for being lovely, very lovely lady to look at, and she treated me so nicely when we decided to do this interview with you. She really helped facilitate everything. As well.
Big word, Gene, that's another big word, facilitate.
I know, right? I'm going all out. But Al, of course, Al Contreras was the one that got us together, and I want to thank him as well. There's something you do which you don't see a lot of people do, which I do in my shows. So I think this is the reason why, Emil, please don't take this the wrong way. With only one major hit in your catalog, you are still one of the most worked groups around, because you connect with the people. And you do that not only in your vocals, but when you open a show, you start in the audience. And we're going to show a clip of you, Al, and Teresa at a show. I believe I was at this show. And this is how the Classics open their shows, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony, video number 8. What do you think, Emil? That has something to do with it, right?
I hope so. I hope so. I tell you that the people are so good to us, and for us having contact with them, when we first start the show, it really helps out. It really helps out a lot.
Absolutely. One thing you can be sure of, ladies and gentlemen, when you go see the Classics on a multi-act show, you're going to hear songs by them that nobody else on the show is going to do. Like, nobody does that type of version of All of a Sudden My Heart Sings. You really here's another word, Emil. You really transcended from doo-wop to a pop singer. When you do all these different songs.
Yeah.
Can you have seen yourself as a Las Vegas lounge singer or a Wayne Newton type singer? Could you have seen yourself like that? Or you always wanted to be part of a group?
There were so many times that, are you talking about me personally?
Yes, you personally.
Yeah. There are so many times that through the years where, of course, you're going to get approached. And people are saying, listen, why don't you, how about, why don't you? And quite honestly, I love what we're doing and what we're creating as the Classics. And as far as like an individual, I think that it's something that's nice. But I think that especially now, I'm 77 years old. 77 years old. I mean, where am I going? What am I doing? I'm grateful for what I had and what I have.
Don't count yourself out just yet, Emil. We are now post-COVID, and I think it's going to come back bigger and better. So make sure you stay healthy. Teresa, stay healthy. Al, stay healthy. And just, I got to tell you, some of your information on the web was not too accurate. I think we should look into making it a little more accurate, because some of the stories you told tonight were riveting. And I think it's for everybody to know your story.
Yeah.
I asked this of every guest. In the past year, have you thought about writing down your memoirs?
Well, something, a lot of what I talked to you tonight about, I had already communicated in so many ways and so many places, and I've got excerpts of those things, and I can probably put some things together. I mean, it's a story that I love, and it's a story that Al tried to put down with Hushabye, the book, and we didn't even touch upon so many different things that, like he talked about. The Mystics, the music, and the mob. And of course, what affected him affected me, because that was Brooklyn. And, there were people that we had to deal with, but I didn't get into that, with us talking about it now. But I can tell you stories from now till next Christmas,
Well, you know what? I think that's an invitation for us to possibly do Emil Stucchio Part 2. You there?
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let me ask Emil.
I'm there. I said thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Where can everybody find out your upcoming shows, and where could they buy some of your songs? Do you have a website?
Well, yeah. Well, like at the beginning of this phone call, I was telling you, I apologize about what happened with my iPod,
Right.
and I couldn't, I am so green when it comes to electronics and things like that. But if you go on Facebook, Emil Stucchio and the Classics on Facebook, you'll all our information is on there. They could all, and Al and Teresa constantly post things on there, and I don't, because I don't really get involved with that part of it because I'll probably mess it up. But the truth is that they will always post where we're going to be and any products that we have that are coming out. Like depending on where you are in the country. I mean, we got shows coming up. Like I tell you, we're going on the cruise. We got. Today I took a job for Atlantic City at Harrah's on November 19th and 20th. There's so many dates that are coming up, but they'll all be on that Facebook, Emil Stucchio and the Classics.
That's great. Everybody out there in social media land, make sure you join and follow the page, Emil Stucchio and the Classics. And one of the most riveting interviews we've done. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give this gentleman, the only way we know how to say thank you, a big round of applause. Thank you so much, Emil.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you and stay healthy.
God bless you, Gene. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. What a great interview, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, really, if you look on the web, his Wikipedia only touched upon some of the stuff we did. And right now, a word from our sponsor. Stick around. A word from our sponsor.
Hi, this is Francisco. Many people call me the creative CPA. If you need help with your taxes or financial matters, please email me your cell number and the best time and day to call you. You can email me at franciscisco@aol.com, and Cisco is spelled SISCO, the creative CPA. It's that simple, that easy. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Howard, and along with my partner Karen, we are Cruise Planners Dream Destinations Travel. Contrary to the name, we are a full-service travel agency specializing in individual, multi-generational, and group vacations. Certified with all major cruise lines, we are also represent all resorts and all-inclusives throughout the beautiful Caribbean and Mexico. Let us build your dream vacation. Please call us at 347-398-8653 for a free, no-obligation quote.
Little Italy Auto Repair at 628 Crescent Avenue in the true Little Italy of the Bronx. Over 50 years of automotive service excellence, ASC and state certified, offering all types of services to all types of cars. Discounts to first responders, military, Fordham University students and faculty. All work is done by Vittorio with the highest level of quality possible. Telephone number is 718-933-2365 or visit his website at www.littleitalyAutobronx.webs.com. That's Little Italy Auto Repair. Thank you once again to our sponsors. We appreciate it. Don't forget next week's show, 7 o'clock, Gary Puckett of Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. Man, oh man, lady willpower, woman, young girl, over you. This girl is a woman now. So many hit songs. We're going to hit it and quit it with Gary Puckett. Don't forget La Focaccia, Sal Panetta and his crew in Levittown, Long Island. Want to thank them for the hospitality. We got a major announcement coming up hopefully next week. Can't say it yet, but we might have snagged one of the greatest 80s song icons. Can't say it yet, but it will not be on a Monday. On Monday, this person does a ritual, so it will be a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday live. But of course, you can go and see it anytime you want. As with our other 40 shows on my YouTube channel, Gene DiNapoli. Look it up on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and follow me. We have some great shows coming up, not with famous celebrities, but with very compelling young men and young women who have stories to tell. And we'll be doing that on our YouTube channel. I want to wish everybody a happy week. Stay well, stay golden, stay positive. Happy Flag Day, and God bless America. Peace out.